So today I'm going to show you how to manage the parameter file. Okay. So the parameter file is the very first file we need to start the database, right? Without parameter file, we cannot start the database. What is the location of parameter file? Anyone remember? What is the parameter file location? No one remember? Where the parameter file is stored? That is the very first file, right? You need to remember the location of parameter file. It is stored in the Oracle Home DBS, right? Oracle Home DBS. So parameter file is the very first file we need to start the database, and Oracle Home DBS is the location of parameter file. Okay, so this is you can see the parameter file, right? Or it will start with SP file, right? SP file std by SP file test. This is the parameter file. This is the parameter file. So what information is there in the parameter file? Memory area. How much memory you want to use? That is there in the parameter file, right? Memory area, how much you want to use? It's there in the parameter file. So there are two types of parameter file actually. There are two types. That is called P file and SP file. There are two types of parameter file. So what is the difference between P file and SP file? P file is a text file. P file is a text file. You can open the P file and read the information. But SP file is a binary file. It's a binary. This file you cannot open. This is a binary. SP file, the name will start with init. Init. If the database name is test, then init test.ora. And SP file test.ora. Init is the initial for the P file, and ora is the extension. But we are using SP file only. Now we are not using P file. You have seen, right? SP file test.ora is there. So we are using SP file. But in old version, in Oracle 8i, we used to have P file. There was no SP file. But nowadays we are using SP file. There is no P file. So there are many parameters. In the parameter file, there are many parameters, not only memory. There are many parameters in the parameter file. Okay. And we need to check those parameters as per our requirement. We need to change that. How to get the information about the parameter file? V dollar parameter. This is a view. I'll show you. Just start the database. Start up. V dollar parameter. You can get information about the parameter file. I want to know how many parameters are there. So select name from V dollar parameter. Total 381 parameters are there in the parameter file. And we used to set accordingly. Okay. So using this you can get it. So there are many parameters. And you can also check the value for the parameter. Select the name value from V dollar parameter. See, this is a value for the parameter. This is a parameter name and this is a value. All these are the parameters. The file and these are values. These are values, right? So there are many parameters. You can change the value as per the requirement. So if you want to change the parameter value, we have to use the command alter system set. This is the command to change the parameter value. Alter system set. Alter system set. And give the parameter name and then value. Parameter name and value. And a scope equal to we have to mention. Alter system set. Parameter name here. Parameter name equal to give the value. What value you want to change? Okay. And while changing the parameter, after giving the value, we have to use a scope. So there are three scopes. While changing the parameter, there are three scopes. A scope equal to SP file, a scope equal to memory, and both. There are three scopes. So what is SP file? See, while changing the parameter, in Oracle 8i, we have to shut down the database always. We need to shut down the database always. So actually there are two types of parameters. In the parameter file, there are two types of parameter. That is called a static parameter and dynamic parameter. There are static parameters and dynamic parameters. So what is the difference between a static and dynamic parameter? So the static parameters, if you want to change the parameters, then do we need to shut down the database? Earlier in Oracle 8i, we have to shut down the database. If you want to change any parameters, if you are using init file, then shut down the database, open this file, change and start the database. Okay, when you change the parameters. But nowadays, if you want to change the parameter, no need to shut down the database. You can change while the database is up and running. Shutdown is not required. Okay. No need to shut down the database. So shutdown is not required if you want to change the parameters. Because you see, most of the applications are 24/7, right? They will not give you the downtime to change the parameter value. Applications will be running 24/7. So now we are using SP file. If you are using SP file, then shutdown is not required. While the database is up and running, we can change the parameters. No need to shut down the database. So you can change all parameters while the database is up and running. From 9 onwards, you can change all parameters. Shutdown is not required. You can change everything. But still there are few parameters which need to be restarted. After changing, we need to restart. But most of the parameters no need to restart. So here we have two types of parameters, static and dynamic. Static parameter need to restart the database after changes. Dynamic parameters no need to restart. It will be effective immediately after changes. It will be effective immediately. Restart is not required. So we have two types of parameters, static and dynamic. Okay. So while changing the parameter, we have these three scopes: SP file, memory, and both. If you use SP file, parameter changes immediately, but effective only after restart. Okay. And now if you use memory, if you use the memory, parameter change immediately. Parameter change immediately. effective immediately. Effective immediately. But not effective after restart. Means once you restart, value will be lost. After restart, value is lost. Here effective immediately, right? Now we have another both. Both is what? Both is equal to SP file and memory. SP file and memory equal to both, right? So if we both parameter change immediately. Effective also immediately. Also effective after restart. So this parameter is also effective after restart. Okay. So there are two types of parameters, static and dynamic, right? So few parameters can be effective immediately. You can change all parameters, no issue. But some of the parameters will be effective immediately and some of the parameters we need to restart. And while changing the parameters, we have to use these scopes, SP file, memory, and both. Okay. So we have 381 parameters, right? So out of 381 parameters, few parameters are static and few are dynamic. I want to know how many parameters are static and how many dynamic. Select name from $, parameter where each instance modifiable equal to true. It will show you all dynamic parameters where no need to restart the database. So all out of 381, 254 parameters are dynamic. No need to restart. No need to restart. Okay, these are the dynamic parameters. This will come in this 254, right? Out of 381, 254 numbers are dynamic, right? Remaining are static parameter, right? Remaining are static. How to check the static parameters? Select name from $3 parameter where instance modified equal to false. So 127 are static parameters. Means we need to restart the database, right? 127 static parameters, right? And 254 are dynamic. Now I am changing the static parameters. These are all static parameters. I will pick up any parameter and I want to change the value for the parameter. So I'll pick up one parameter. These are all static parameter. Okay. So I pick up this parameter DB unique name. What is the value of this parameter? You can use this command to check. So parameter DB unique name. So what is DB unique name value? Test. And this is the static parameter. Means we need to restart after you make changes. Now I want to change the value from test to test1. The command is alter system set and then DB unique name equal to test1. I'll change the value from test to test1 and then a scope. Which scope you can use?
Memory of both.
We have 3 scopes, right? And this is the static parameter. This falls under 127 static parameters. So which scopes can be used while changing?
Both actually.
Both.
After
Parameter cannot be effective immediately, right? These are all static. After changes, we need to restart, right?
But if we use both, it will change immediately.
Okay. Change immediately, therefore everything, right? All scopes. A static or dynamic, you can change immediately, no problem.
But effective.
Yes. What I said, this static parameter need to restart. Okay. Effective after restart, you can say. This parameter effective after restart, right? So these are the static parameter which can be effective only after restart. So which scope you can use? And can we use SP file?
SP.
Can we use this?
Yes, sir. Only after restart.
Effective only after restart, right? Can we use memory?
No.
Can we use both?
Yes, sir.
Can we use both?
It will change immediately. Also effective after restart also, sir.
You can see. It can be effective immediately or not? Tell me.
It can.
A static parameter can be effective immediately or not?
No, after restart.
Cannot be effective immediately, right? Immediately effective only after restart, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
can we use both or not? Tell me.
No, sir. You have to use SP file.
What I told you, it's effective only after restart, right?
Yes, sir.
If you use both, it has to be effective immediately, which is not possible. If you try to use both, you will get the error, cannot be modified. You cannot use this parameter. For a static parameter, we cannot use both. Both is equal to memory. Memory and SP file equal to both, right? Can we use memory? It check memory also.
No, sir.
It will not allow because it cannot be effective immediately. This parameter cannot be effective immediately. These are static. So value will be stored in the SP file. If you change the value, after changing the value will be stored in SP file. But we need to restart to make it effective. Now check the value for the DB unique name. I have changed, right?
Hmm.
Check the value. What is the value? Test, right?
Yes, sir.
I have changed it to test one, but still we can see old value only. We can see the old value because it is not effective immediately, even though you change. Now restart and then check. And then start. So value is not changed, right? After restart, right? New value is showing after restart. So if you change any one of these parameters, after you change, making the changes, you need to restart. We have to restart the database. Okay. Now what about the dynamic parameter? Name. There. True. This will show your dynamic parameter. So these 254 parameters are dynamic. 254 are dynamic parameters. Okay. So I'll pick up any one parameter, undo table space, undo retention. So parameter, undo retention. What is the value? 1400 seconds. Now I want to change the value. I want to change. So this is a dynamic parameter. It is effective immediately. No need to restart. Alter system set. Undo. Retention equal to 900. Now tell me which scope you can use for the dynamic parameter. It can be effective. It will be effective immediately, right? So which scope you can use? Effective immediately. Tell me. SP file, memory, both. Which scope you can use?
We can use memory and both also, but after restart, it will be gone actually. Again, it will come to 1400 only. But if you use both, it will be effective, and after restart also, it will be same 900 if you set.
See, if you use memory, then you can use effective immediately, right?
But after restart, it will again go to 1400 only.
Both also you can use. You can use both also. See, for dynamic parameters, you can use any scope. There is no issue. You can use any scope for the dynamic parameters. But if you use SP file, then it will act like a static parameter. You have to restart the database if you use this scope. If you use this scope, memory also you can use, but if you use this, then if you restart, then value will be lost. But if
Then
you
it will go to
it will be there effective immediately, and when
after
it also value is effective. So when to use this memory? Like for the testing purpose, I want to check if I change the value, whether I get any benefit or not. If I get any benefit, then I will use both. Okay. If do not, then I will not make any changes, right? I'll get back to the old value. I will change to the old value again. So it won't saved in the SP file. So this is for the testing purpose. Memory we use for the testing. Okay, after changing the value effective immediately. Once it is confirmed, then you can use both, right? Again, you can change the value with both if you are satisfied. Otherwise, you can revert back to the old values. So I am using memory. So this parameter will be effective immediately. Can you see here now? The value is 900, right? Value is now effective immediately. But when you restart, value will be low. See, after restart, Still you can see the old value, right? Value is not effective after restart. It's showing the old value. Okay. Now I want to use a scope equal to both and then check. A scope equal to both. Just reconnect, giving only 1 minute time. Reconnect.